had been dealing with health issues for 4 years, 5 years. I was having the same sort of symptoms over and over, and sought a variety of different options to learn what was wrong with me. Literally every specialty I saw. I spent time at Mayo Clinic. It was really a process. I was eventually diagnosed with IBS, and I think it was difficult for them to come upon that because sort of the symptoms I was reporting and the way I reported it, because I made it about physical activity. Every time I was physically active, I had these issues. In any case, I was finally diagnosed with IBS and eventually reached the point where I was so uncomfortable all the time that I felt like I needed to do something. I mean, my number one objective was to find a way to get back to being very active. And at the time that I first came to Ashley, I couldn't work out. I was having difficulty working in the yard. I couldn't help my kids move into their new, home at college, and so it became a point where it was just a problem. So I definitely want to be a very active person, and that's one of the reasons I sought out Ashley's help. And my biggest frustration was for every specialist I saw, for every doctor I went to, depending on what the specialty was, there was a solution that they had, within their specialty. So the cardiologist recommended one thing, the lung doctor recommended something else, and it just became kind of, chasing medications and so forth. So what I really appreciated about what Ashley's done really for me is it was much more of a holistic sort of whole body view of things. And she was really the first person that sort of talked about really the whole gamut of things, from what I was eating to how I was exercising to sleeping and water and all the other types of things. So my experience with, again, the other specialties is that their solutions were very narrow. So my wife, Lisa, actually worked with Ashley, or has done some work with Ashley through her business, and got to know her a little bit and introduced me to her as a way of, maybe a solution to the problems I was having. She was maybe tired of hearing about all the problems I was having, so she said, talk to Ashley and see if she can help. I certainly was impressed with Ashley and her knowledge and her energy, and I was immediately drawn to that. I was skeptical about the program itself because, again, I just been through the gauntlet of a whole variety of other things trying to get answers. And so it did take me some time to sort of trust in the process, as they say, but I certainly come to do that. Immediately started seeing changes, or seeing results, if you will, for simple things. One of the first things that Ashley had me focus on was drinking more water, which was always, it's been an issue for me forever. I've never really focused on that. Quite frankly, it was a little difficult for me to get into that, but once I did, I immediately began seeing the benefits of that and feeling better for that. I started to change the way I was eating based on the recommendations that she had for foods to avoid, as well as foods that I should be eating and the quantities I should be eating those in, and immediately started to see a reduction in the symptoms that I was having for IBS, and that really sort of started convincing me, okay, we've got something here as it relates to the nutrition part of this thing. And then from there, I was really able to start exercising more, which is something I had wanted to do. And Ashley's helped me in the exercise area as well with recommendations for things that I could be doing. And the result has been just a gradual increase in my ability to exercise and the intensity of the exercise, combined with feeling better with the way I was eating, and again, my stomach and my gut health and whatnot is completely changed from when I started. I don't know if it was a single moment. I think it was sort of a series of moments for me, because I had a lot to fix apparently. So, again, the water, again, the food. I think the first thing I noticed, I guess, honestly, was just the way I was feeling, the pain. Quite frankly, I was having a lot of pain, a lot of bloating, and by changing the way I was eating, concentrating on, I increased the amount of protein, for example, that I was eating, and I was also avoiding certain foods that were inflammatory to my gut and in my case, thyroid health as well. And so pretty quickly, I feel like I felt something was, changed, something really was starting to work. It still took me a while to really get fully on board. And I had a couple of conversations with Ashley about that. And finally, I really sort of turned the corner kind of midway through it. And it really, I started seeing the benefits more quickly, once I really fully committed. Because honestly, I mean, once the stomach felt pretty good, and it's getting better, it's still getting better. I mean, I'm still feeling better all the time. The exercise has been the biggest surprise for me. I mean, it's been fun to get back into it. I felt like I knew a lot coming into this. I have paid attention to my health for some time, but I've learned a great deal listening to Ashley and what she's had to say. And again, across a broader range of topics that I was expecting to have conversations about, from nutrition again to water intake, sleep, meditation, other forms of things that will help with your stress and so forth. So if you're serious about getting better and serious about your health, then I would absolutely recommend Ashley. And I would recommend that you commit to the program that she's talking about, because again, when I fully committed, sort of during the process, the results were exponential compared to where I was when I was kind of skeptically moving along at the beginning.